Brain Injury Awareness Month. And while all brain injuries are different, they're much more common than you might realize. Rose Schmidt brings us one local man's story of survival and strength. Rose.
That's right, Leah. It may be hard to believe, but every 23 seconds, someone in the U.S. sustains a traumatic brain injury. In people under the age of 65, the most common ones are caused by transportation-related injuries. That's the case of a man who lives on Madison's east side. A car crash flipped his life on a dime.
People look at you like you're just a normal person.
Not all injuries are things you can see.
It hurts because you don't know how to explain things.
And for Jeff Francis, the past 10 years have been filled with things he can't explain.
Don't remember anything. It was like a big blur.
In 2007, Jeff was involved in a car crash that changed his life completely.
I was a passenger, and I got ejected, and I crashed my skull into the pavement going about 45, 50 miles an hour.
That day in October changed not just Jeff's life, but his entire family's.
We got a phone call that he was laying in the street. We went running down there, and we found him laying in the middle of the street.
He was put in a medically induced coma for a month.
They have him on life support, and they had a feeding tube down his nose at the time.
But somehow, he survived.
He had to learn how to basically do everything. He didn't know how to put a sock on or a shoe on. He didn't know how to get dressed.
The road to recovery is a long one, and sometimes a lonely one.
Life moves on for some, you know, but my life just kind of all of a sudden just like stopped. You know, everybody moves on, and I'm kind of just here.
Even 10 years after the crash, Jeff can't remember any of his life before it.
Nothing. I don't remember playing football or track.
But throughout everything he's been through,
we call him our miracle child.
He can still remember to see the small things in life.
I really didn't know if I would be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, and somebody having to feed me, and every night, you know, you feel grateful to be alive.
Jeff has participated in the Brain Injury Alliance's annual Walk for Thoughts events to help bring awareness to traumatic brain injuries. Throughout this month, the organization will be selling the T-shirt that Jeff was wearing in that video. It says, "Not all injuries are visible." So that's a message that I think the Brain Injury Alliance wants to send to people.
Quite a traumatic experience.
Definitely, yeah.